I don't know why they crashed the economy. They did it on purpose. I don't know. I guess their intentions was to make their billion-dollar bank accounts up to 2 and 3 billion, and they did that. They were successful, I guess. But many middle-class people, lower people, lost their jobs, couldn't buy the toys anymore. But we had money. We decided to give them the toys anyways and put everybody on a credit situation where in a year or two, when you get your jobs back, you'll pay us back. Well, jobs didn't come back in a year or two. They couldn't pay us back. It wasn't the children's fault their parents couldn't afford nice toys and stuff anymore. It was Wall Street's and the bank's fault. But no one paid us back. And here it was pushing 2011, going on to 2012, and we couldn't pay our loans. We defaulted on our loans. What money we had went into, again, giving away toys as best we could and feeding the town. We had electric bills. We have a natural gas electric generator to supplement the solar, which came in before the solar, of course. Before then, they had diesel generators, electric generators, back in the 20s and so, to run the town's lighting issues. Heat was done with wood-burning stove and stuff like that. But we upgraded the town. It's much more modern. It's all electric. We're deep in debt to numerous banks, and they came knocking on our door. They want their payments. They want their money back. Well, we didn't have that money. We ran out just like everybody else. Okay, so what do? Well, the banks wanted to foreclose on the North Pole. Well, that's what they did. What could I do? I'm not rich. I live well. I have the nicest little only house in town, like the White House. So Santa lives nice and comfortable, but it's not like I got $1 billion in the bank. I have a nice, comfortable income, but it's not much. It's still less than 6 figures a year. So anyways, the bank started foreclosing papers and this and that, and the township was like, what's going to happen? And things were kind of on hold for a while. And a year later, in 2012, a corporation swooped in and bought up the North Pole. They were going to pretty much go back to the way it is here in the U.S. You know, it's like give out a little bit better paycheck and make them pay for rent, utilities, make them pay for their food, just like in normal USA or Canada, you know, pay for everything. Health care, taxes for schools, you know. People didn't like that. People were scared. So I went to the bargaining table. My power was that from previous 100 years there was patents. I had some inventions that were patented that helped the toy factory. We had proprietary intellectual information which the corporations weren't going to get. We had all the agreements with Disney and other branded names to make their toys legally. They get their piece of the pie, but you know, that's the way business works today. The corporations could use this stuff. So because of that bargaining chip I had, I relinquished all rights to the Santa corporations to the new corporation that now owns the North Pole. So in exchange for everything to remain the same. People took a slight cut in pay, 10% cut in pay, but everything's paid for by the corporation because of what I did for the next 100 years. 100 years from now, things are going to change. Oh well, we'll see what happens 100 years from now. Whether they upgrade the town, they change it to normal, I don't know. But for the next 100 years, things remain the same, and they own all intellectual rights to patents and everything else like that. But I have, of course, had to resign my position as Santa and mayor and move out of the North Pole. Give up all my rights and move out. My family stayed behind. My grandchildren, of course, they stayed behind. Got a divorce so my wife could stay behind with no strings attached. That's where her family is. Once a year or so, when the family gets up enough income, they will fly me up there to visit in the summertime so I can spend a couple weeks to a month in the summertime visiting my family. Grandchildren, children, all of it. So that's